Blessed Rising Soul Family, welcome back to the channel. If you're new, this is Soul Family Oracle, where I deliver messages from the divine, our spirit guide to the depth of our soul and our ancestors. And if you're returning, as always, thank you so much for your energy and your support for the channel. I really appreciate it so much. So it's a very beautiful morning, quite cold because it's raining. It just started raining a while ago. And I was just sitting out a while ago, like just having tea and just like reflecting on the day. I felt like a message needed to come through, and this message has been hitting me for the last few days. And this message was basically coming through to say that for whoever this message is for, there's a need for you to stop numbing the emotions. There's a need for you to stop numbing the feelings that are coming at you. And right now you are required to feel your way through it. You are required to feel your way through all the way to the end. And what was coming attached to the message was that for whoever this message is for, you might be in this state where you are trying to be strong, and you are feeling strong. You are strong, but you're trying to be strong for some of the wrong things also. Like things that you're trying to feel, emotions that are coming at you. And let's say, for instance, I'm getting for somebody, this could be past heartbreaks that have been coming at you these days, and then it's like you've been remembering them. Now it's raining very heavily, and you've been kind of like remembering some of these like past relationships, and then it makes you feel very emotional, and then you want to cry. And then I'm getting, it's like somebody's like, I'm strong, I'm not going to cry, what happened, it's all done. And the divine is saying, yes, what happened, it's all done, you've released that, but there's a need for you. Sorry guys, I had to like close the window. But there's a need for you to welcome the emotions that are coming in and to feel your way through it, because there are gems in there that you're going to find. There are things in the feeling of the emotion that the divine wants to bring to you. And once you feel this emotion through to the end, the energy is going to be released. The effect of it is going to be released, where it doesn't become a trigger for you anymore. So what I'm getting now is like the divine is using these emotions that are coming up as like triggers for you to release what's left, right? And I remember the reading I did yesterday, which said basically that a cycle has closed out and you're needing to cut loose ends. And I feel like the divine is coming in to help with these things, like with releasing the past emotions and the releasing emotions that are attached to the past cycle, right? And so for somebody, you may have been feeling a lot of like heavy emotions and triggers from things that you feel like you've already released, things that you felt like you've already closed out. And so for some, this is the reason why it's like you are kind of like avoiding these emotions, or like not trying to go through it, or you're trying to numb yourself, right? Because you feel like these are not things that you're supposed to be going through. It's like, oh, I've released this. Why is it coming up? I don't want to think about it. I'm not going to feel it. And the divine is saying it's coming up so that you can release them once and for all. It's coming up so that you can release them once and for all, right? And it's like, for some, I don't know exactly how you are numbing the feeling, So I'm getting like you may have developed some kind of coping mechanisms, where the divine is saying there's a need for you to not let these coping mechanisms become like a routine for you, or like a thing for you, where anytime an emotion is coming up, you run to a coping mechanism. But there's a need for you to realize the importance of embracing these emotions and releasing them, so that you can establish balance in your energy, where these emotions don't trigger you anymore. Because for some, it's like wherever you're being led to right now, part of your story is going to involve these experiences. These experiences you've had, these like negative emotions that have come about because of the negative experiences you've had, are part of your story. right? And so the divine is trying to help you to release them so that moving forward, you can make it a part of your story to teach and to help others instead of shying away from it or not being able to address it or talk about it. And so that's the reason why the divine is saying, like, these are coming up as triggers, but they're coming up as triggers because you're needing to go through them. Right? For somebody also, I'm getting something about like abandonment, right? So this could be in like a family setting where you've had certain situations with your family where you've been abandoned, or you felt abandoned, or you felt neglected by family, and you have done very well on your own. Like, you've moved through life on your own. It's been a hustle, it's been a struggle. There's been a lot of down moments. There's been a lot of disappointing moments. You've been alone. It's just been you and your spirit team moving through it. You've been isolated. For some of you, you haven't even had friends throughout the period. So it's like you've literally like been on your own, doing all this on your own. And the divine is saying, I am moving you to a space where you don't do this on your own anymore. And it's not even going to be in the sense where somebody comes in and is like, oh, let me help you with this. It's going to be in a sense of like everything in your life starts to cooperate to your productivity in a way where it's like the divine things are just going to start to roll out. Things are just going to happen for you in unexpected ways, literally like miraculous ways. And it's also going to invite people into your life that are going to add up to the experience. So I feel like people are going to be part of the miracles that you receive for whoever this person is that is dealing with like abandonment, right? But there's a need for you to address this emotion. So again, whoever I'm speaking to concerning this part, you may have gone through life like just like, it's me, myself, and I, and you've done it on your own. You've gone through it on your own, and the divine is saying, I know how strong you are. I know you did it on your own. I know it's just been you and your spirit team. I know it's been difficult, and I know it has made you strong. It has hardened you and made you strong. However, right now in this moment, the time has come for you to finally release this emotion where it's not a trigger anymore, where it has been healed and it becomes a part of your light, part of your story, part of your healing energy, and doesn't remain as a trigger, right? So again, I feel like just like the last message, it's like the divine is saying the cutting of the loose end. It's like you've closed out a cycle, and on your part, the divine is saying all you have to do is basically to close out the things that triggers you that are still attached to the old cycle, right? Because there are new things that are coming in where these old things that are still triggers can't go there with you because they are going to cloud the experience or cloud your judgment and the experiences you're supposed to have. Basically, it's going to hold you back from living the life to the fullest, how the divine wants you to live. And I'm getting living now very heavy. It's like the divine is leading you to live life. The divine is leading you to live your life and not just like go through life. So for whoever I'm speaking to, also somebody, you've just literally been going through life, right? And you've been doing the best that you can for yourself and trying to protect your energy, trying to heal, trying to be in balance. But in all this, you've literally just been going through life. It's like trying to make it from one day to the other. Trying to make it from one day to the other. And the divine is saying, I'm moving you to a situation, I'm moving you to a phase where you are not going to be living through it. You are going to live the life. You are not just going to be going through life, right? Where you are going to be living life. You're going to be happy. You're going to be joyous. You're going to be like excited and enthusiastic about your life and about the things that are coming into your life. 844 on the timer. That's 88. Abundance, abundance, abundance. It's like the divine is bringing so much abundance into your life right now, but there's a need for you to go through certain emotions that are still in your energy from past experiences so that you can what? You can release them, right? And then once you release them, you can fully enjoy your life. So there's something about joy coming in also very heavily. Right, the need for you to be joyous, the need for you to be happy. So I'm speaking to somebody also where 919 on the timer, where even though you feel content and you feel grateful and you feel happy for the things you have, you haven't really been living in joy. Like you haven't really been living in joy where you say like, I'm so happy every day. And the divine is saying, it's like, There's a need for you to create that joy in your life. There's a need for you to open yourself up to being the creator of that joy. There's a need for you to allow yourself to like be also the curator, right? The creator and also the curator, like CURATOR, like an art curator, or like somebody who creates pieces in a museum, right? So it's not just about creating it. The creation of it would be like building the museum, right? But the curating of it would be like putting the different artworks in there, putting the different pieces that you choose, the different masterpieces, and then putting the different artists together for shows and stuff like that. So it's like the divine is saying, you've been going through life so much, literally just running through it, and now it's time for you to live. But for you to be able to live this life, 133 on the timer, 10:33. But in order for you to be able to live this life to the fullest, I need you to create the life of your dreams, the life that brings you joy, the life that brings you happiness. But for a lot of you that this message is for, what's holding you back from being able to do that? 10:55 on the timer. What's holding that translates to 10:10. What holds you back from being able to do that are these little triggers still in your energy, right? Now, for me personally, this is something that I have been working on for the last few weeks, maybe even the last few months, but I didn't realize that is what the divine was like guiding me to work on till like the last few weeks. And it's been even more profound these last few days since I've been on the retreat, right? Where I've noticed how like when I step out, my energy is like blocked off. When I step out, like my energetic field is like literally like my aura, my energy is like closed off. It's like you can sense, it's almost like you can see it, that I don't want to interact with anybody, that I don't want to, mingle with people. And it's funny to me now, but it's actually, it's not something, 11:55 on the timer, 1155. But it's something that I know I need to bring change to, and it's something that actually felt painful to address, right? And I had to cry through it, right? And trying to understand the reason why I'm always like putting up a wall when I'm outside. And from my realization, I just realized it's because of the different things that I have harbored from the way that I've been treated in the past, right? Where people would shut me off, or people would ignore me. People would literally like act like they didn't see me, because of who I was or because of what I was practicing. And I remember very well, 1, 2, 3, 4 on the timer. Thank you, Spirit. And I remember very well when I started my spiritual journey, right? And I hadn't even I wasn't even like a spiritual practitioner then. Then I was just a spiritualist, I was just like, trying to find myself, trying to heal myself, trying to understand myself, and basically like realize my calling, right? And I lost a lot of friends. I lost like all my friends, right? And a lot of them were because I cut them off, or because I removed myself from their energy or from their circles. But the other lot was also because they just couldn't identify with what I was getting into, or they just basically felt like what I was doing was weird. And then the other lot was just because the connection just fizzled out, right? Now, looking back at those people from my circle, or the people that I knew or were connected to then, that was like one of the things that hurt me the most, because at that time I thought that me basically bettering myself, or me wanting to become a better person, would mean that a lot more people would want to associate with me, because I felt like, well, I'm doing something great, this is something good. But in the end, I realized that no, this would actually require me to be in isolation. This would require me to become lonely and to lose everybody. And that became some kind of like, I'm trying to find the word, not remorse. It's like, that made me, what's the word, Spirit? Bitter, yes. Made me become bitter about that, right? And then eventually when I started to shed and release that, and start to like, allow myself to like mingle with others, or invite others, or allow others into my energy, then I started to realize again, like on this side also, it was how like a lot of people didn't want to associate with me because of what I practiced and who I was. And some also would come around just to find out or be curious about me, and then when they found out enough and then felt like, nah, you're like this, you're like that, then they would leave my energy. So it just got to the point where I was like, then I'm just going to shut myself off, right? I don't want to mingle with others. And I'm speaking just on like the lighter side, because there's a lot of other things that happened with people and communities and groups against me that hardened my heart towards like opening up to people, right? But eventually, through my journey, like on my journey, I started to kind of like soften up and then open myself up to people again, because I feel like one thing that never changed was my heart, right? I've always had a big heart. I've always had a heart for like receiving people and being receptive to people and just like trying to nurture people, or basically trying to be there for people, right? But I became very selective of it also. So for instance, like when I'm out, I sometimes I look like don't come into my energy, like I don't want to interact with anybody, whatever, right? But at the same time, if I felt like somebody needed help, or if I met somebody that could use a smile, or somebody that could use words of encouragement or some kind of kindness, I would 100% do that. Like I would be the first to try and do that. So in a way, it's like that part of me, that authentic true self of who I was, of who I am, is still very much there, right? But I was using this mask, or this basically this mask to cover that side, because I felt like it was unsafe to share that side openly, or just to be open about that. And the divine is saying there's nothing wrong with that. That is me setting boundaries, right? And that's the exact right thing to do in protecting my energy, especially because of who I am, right? But it has to be with intention, in the sense that not to step out with the intention of, Lord, I don't want to have anybody come around me, or I just want to be my energy. I don't want any trouble. I don't want any negative vibes. Instead of going out with that intention, the right thing to do would be to go out with the intention of basically being of light and love, but also being very protective of my energy, and speaking to the universe about basically what I deal with and how I interact with people, and asking to be connected with the right people, asking to be connected with people that are good for my energy, people that are healthy for my energy, right? Instead of just like intentionally deciding to shut people off energetically. So I feel like that was long, but I feel like somehow it was necessary. So for some of you, this might be how it's coming across, where it's like you've shut yourself off from the world unintentionally, because to you it's like just protecting your energy. But the divine is saying like there's a balance to it, and this balance is what is like the divine is guiding you to be able to reach, right? By bringing up all these different emotions that are attached to those traumatic experiences you had, so that you can feel them through and through and through till the end. And I feel like this is happening on multiple levels, because the last reading I did, I remember the last live I did had a similar message, but that was like on a spiritual side, where it's like the divines are taking you through sacred doors in the astral realms. Like they're taking you through sacred doors, and with each sacred door you go through, you uncover like a piece of your soul. And with this uncovering of a piece of your soul, it's like you reclaim something. For some, it's like reclaiming memories of your soul and parts and pieces of you that are like connected to the traumatic experiences you've had in previous lifetimes, and to be able to heal them and heal their influences in your life in this present, so that you can make a better change for the future. So I feel like this particular message is speaking on the physical side of it, right? But it's like these are going to be coming through as emotions. So again, with the message, it's like, don't numb these emotions. There's a need for you, there's an importance for you to feel them through. It's like, don't push them aside or develop coping mechanisms for them, right? Whatever these coping mechanisms may be, whether if you think it's a healthy coping mechanism, or whether it's obviously like a negative coping mechanism, right? Whether it's alcohol or Mary J, or it's like food, or it's like basically like disconnection or escapism, whatever it is, right? So the divine is saying it's like you have reached a phase where you really have closed out a cycle. And even though you feel and you know that you closed out a cycle, it's like there's still those residues that are needing to be released, because it's like it's really like a clean slate. It's like the divine is giving you a clean slate, to really start afresh. And it's like this starting afresh, it's almost like the only things we're taking is the energies that we've been gifted from all the experiences, is the knowledge and the wisdom, the direction and the guidance that we've been gifted from all these experiences. So for somebody, I feel like this is like it's almost like a second life, right? And for somebody, you may even be feeling like you don't really recognize your world anymore. 11:11 on the timer. But that's because it's a whole new beginning. And it's like this new beginning is like so divinely orchestrated. It's like it's meant to feel like it's feeling. It's meant to feel like something that has been lost or something that has been released. It's meant to feel like something that is being filled up, right? It's meant to feel like a whole, so that the divine can fill it up, something of the sort. So, as always, listen with discernment. Take only what resonates and leave what doesn't. But I feel like this is going to be the end of the message. For whoever this message is for, there's a need for you to allow the emotions that are coming up to come up. It's coming up not because there are things that are coming up from a past experience, or because you haven't healed, or because you haven't closed out the cycle. They're coming up because the divine is literally throwing them at you so that you can feel them and release the triggers of them. So it's like the emotions that are going to be coming at you are specifically the ones that are still triggering you, are specifically the ones that still hold some kind of triggers over your head, right? It's like they make you uncomfortable in some way. They are the emotions that are attached to situations and things that you still are not able to talk about, or you still haven't been able to bring yourself to accepting or releasing. So even though you have closed out those cycles, there's a need for them to be released. There's a need for them to be literally purged out of your system. And by you taking on these emotions, or like you facing these emotions face to face and going through it, is going to be the final process of you finally releasing them, where there are no more triggers. Because these emotions from the experiences you've had, they are meant to become a part of your story. They're meant to become a part of the tools that you use to heal, a part of the tools that you use to enlighten the world. 2211 on the timer. All right, guys. As always, thank you so much for your energy. And if this message resonates with you, please like, share, subscribe to help us reach even more of our soul tribe. And as of now, I think today is 9th. So this video will be posted by the 10th. So as of 10th, my books are back opened, and I will be taking orders and bookings for personal readings. So if you'd like to book a personal reading, you can check the link in the bio, or go directly to the website to readings section, and you will find the various readings that I offer. All right, guys, have a blessed new week, and catch you in the next one.